When I started learning calligraphy, all I wanted was like a step-by-step list, almost like marching orders for exactly how and what to learn in exactly what order. It didn't exist. It does now though. No, but really, in this video, I'm gonna break that down for you. Hey, I'm Becca with the Happy Ever Crafter, and I've been teaching calligraphy from the ground up for over 5 years now, and I've had 250,000 students learn with me. In that time, I've tested and tweaked and figured out a really good system for beginners to learn, if I may say so myself, and it's 6 steps. The basic strokes, the lowercase letters, the uppercase letters, how to connect your letters into words, how to stylize your words, and then how to add flourishing. That's it. My suggestion is to learn all of those things one at a time in this order instead of just jumping around to the parts that interest you at any given moment. Too many beginners jump right in and try to do fancy bouncing or flourishing calligraphy when they haven't even learned properly the individual letters or how to connect them into words, and that just leads to frustration. Doing them in order like this is like learning how to crawl, and then how to walk, and then how to run, and then how to, well, I guess there isn't. If you've been with me for a while too, you know that I teach each of these steps using digital workbooks paired with video instruction. Each of these is essentially like its own mini online course. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's inside each of the 6 course workbooks so you can totally understand the order I suggest learning in. And by the way, I will also link to all of the courses down below if you want to find them and see more. That's up to you. Okay, so like I said, each of these courses is a combo of a digital print-at-home workbook as well as video content. So when you sign up, you get the login for an online account where you're going to access all of that stuff, and you can print the workbook out and then watch along with the video. So these workbooks I'm showing here, I've printed out myself to show you the inside, but yours would be a digital workbook. So if I go through these in order for you, the first one is my basics worksheets. So these show all of the basic strokes of calligraphy, and if you've been with me for a while, you know how much I talk about the basic strokes of calligraphy because these are really the backbone to learning everything else. If you don't learn these, you're going to be really frustrated with the rest of your calligraphy. So this workbook literally goes through how to do each one at the beginning, and then there's traceable worksheets throughout where you get gradually less and less tracing, and then by the end of it, you're freehanding them. You're just doing a couple traced to remember, and then you've got all of the basic strokes down pat. So this is a free workbook. This is actually the basis of my free basics course. If you want to sign up for that, it's just showmeyourdrills.com, and you'll get this for free and all the videos and all the supplies guides and everything you need. So this is step number 1, learn the basics. Step number 2 is letters, lowercase letters to be specific. And in this workbook, what we're doing is you're recapping the strokes that we learned in the Show Me Your Drills challenge with all the basic strokes. Then you're learning how to modify some of them. And then we're literally going through page by page how to do each letter broken down into strokes. So I show you all the pieces that build up each letter, and then I have you freehand them, and then I have you do them consecutively, and then I have you stick them together into letters. And we do that for every single letter of the alphabet, so that by the end of this workbook, you've learned the entire lowercase alphabet, how to break it down properly into the strokes, and you're well on your way to actually being able to write words and feeling really comfortable with all of your letters. So that's what this whole workbook shows. Again, comes with a video to teach you as you go as well, because this could use some extra explanations. After you've learned the lowercase letters, step 3 is to learn the uppercase letters. So this workbook and course is really similar to the second one, the lowercase letters, except for this one, we have 2 different styles of uppercase letters. So we have a formal style and we have a casual style. And so there's a cover page for each of those. So first we go through the formal style, and exact same layout as with the lowercase letters. You're doing some tracing and freehand, and you're doing all of the letters in that formal style first. And then once you get to the casual style, we do the same thing again with a different style of letters. So in this course, you're actually learning 2 full uppercase alphabet styles, which is great because not everybody loves every style, and in modern calligraphy you can do it however you like. But these are both really good beginner ones to start with. So far we've done the basic strokes, we've done the lowercase letters, now we've done the uppercase, and now you've learned all the letters but you don't actually know how to put them together. So that's what this step is for, and that's when you start to connect them. So in this workbook, We go through the basic rundown of how to connect your letters to each other, and we do some examples of some simple ones. Then we get to more tricky ones where you're gonna have to start to learn some extra new little strokes and different tweaks. And then we talk about some of the trickiest letter connections. So M's and N's, the letter O, which people generally struggle with. We talk about the B and the P, V and W, which is everyone's nemesis, and all the different tricky letter connections. We go through all of those. Then we talk about how to connect your uppercase letters to lowercase letters to have them at the start of your word. Then we do some word examples, and that's about it for that workbook. So again, as always, comes with a video, but after this one, you're able to connect your letters all together and actually start writing words, which is really satisfying. In that same kind of time frame, we go through the numbers, which is a bonus workbook. This you could learn before you learn how to do the connections. It's just people don't typically care that much about numbers in calligraphy because they're pretty straightforward. You're just using the pressures you've learned and adding them to whatever style of numbers you want. So we have a mini workbook here that actually comes as a freebie with the connections workbook, and it just goes over numbers and symbols. So you've got ampersands and all things like that. But back to our original steps. Now we're at step number 5, which is stylizing. This is everyone's favorite step where we actually start to do some fancy stylizing and bouncing, if you've ever heard of bounce calligraphy. So we talk about some basic steps on how to do it. We give you some quick game changers where you can just stylize a couple things really quick and see a huge difference in your alphabet. And then we go over some do's and don'ts. We go through all sorts of different styles of bouncy calligraphy. And in this workbook, we actually do some monoline stuff as well as some full pressure, which is a really good way to practice. So we do words, we do different alphabets, we do all sorts of different styles of bouncing and stylizing. And I give you lots of do's and don'ts because this can sort of get messy if you're not paying attention. So we go through all that and we do all sorts of words. And then the last step is flourishing, which is overwhelming for some people, I know, and that's why this workbook is really helpful, as well as the video that comes with it. So for flourishing, we go through what is flourishing. A lot of people don't even know. We go through choosing where to flourish, flourishing do's and don'ts, some warm-ups. We do all sorts of like different T strokes, which are really helpful to do in all sorts of different places. And then we go through all the different types of flourishes. So the ones on the descenders, the ones on the ascenders, and all the different types of flourishes. We go through each of those with, again, traceables, monoline, and full pressure. And then we also go over flourishes on majuscule uppercase letters. And lastly, we go over how to add flourishing in layouts. So where to add them so that you can have a really nice composition in your layouts. So with all of those, you have 6.5 steps to learning calligraphy. Again, you have the basic strokes, the lowercase letters, the uppercase letters, connecting your letters into words, numbers and symbols as a little aside, bouncing and stylizing, and then flourishing. And once you've learned all of that, you've really got a good foundation for calligraphy and you're off to the races to keep developing your own style and keep playing and keep, becoming a better calligrapher. So I hope all of that gives you a really clear overview of the order that I recommend learning in, regardless of whether or not you're using the workbooks with me or if you're learning from a different course or if you're trying to self-teach. I recommend sticking with that order of things because as you learn one at a time, you're going to have more foundation to build off of to learn the more challenging things as you get to them. Again, I will link to everything down below if you want to find any of those. They're all going to be in the description, so I hope that's helpful. And next up, I'm going to link you to another beginner calligraphy tutorial that I think you're going to like, and I'll see you over there.